Now, so when you look at question number 4, right, they are asking for which one is parallel to each other. Okay, which one is parallel to each other? Now, whenever we want to do parallel lines, we cannot just look at it and just assume. You get what I'm trying to say? So we use the options that is given to us. We have AD and HE. Well, AD is over here, true? Right, where's AD? AD is basically over here, right?
Yeah.
HE is basically the other one, correct or not? HE is basically this. Make sense? Now, how to know if something is parallel?
They give you boxes, so maybe you can.
Yeah, you ought to use the boxes to help you. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
All right, you ought to use the boxes to help you. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's ask ourselves, AD and HE, do they have the same amount of boxes or same number of boxes? Let's see. Yeah, you count by this, right? You see? Can you see this triangle over here? Can you see this triangle over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see whether if you have this. So let's count. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Agree so far?
Yeah.
2 up. Make sense?
Yes.
Then for this is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 up. Then do you think it will be parallel? No. Does it make sense to you? Well, some students tell me, but teacher Joseph, some of them I can actually see it with my naked eyes. That it is parallel. That one I do agree. Okay, like maybe I'll show you an example soon.
Yeah.
AH and DE is very obvious. Where's AH?
Yeah.
Where's DE? Isn't it obvious that this is not parallel?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not assuming. In fact, why am I not assuming? Because you see for yourself with your naked eyes. You can see if I extend it, definitely it will meet. Am I making sense? Now, then BG, where's BG? BG is basically this two line over here. All right. So what I want to do is I want to just draw this line down, and DE is over here. So isn't this pretty obvious as well, right? So we definitely cannot use this, correct? Yeah, oh, well, okay, then this is pretty obvious that BG and CF, they are parallel. Agree or disagree? But let's try. Let's see why is it parallel. Agree? Where's BG? BG is over here, right? Same thing. You want to use what are you gonna use the boxes? Very good. The boxes are there for a reason. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is I can use green color boxes. Let's go. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Agree or not? Then over here we go. Let's count from here. We go half a box, then 1, 2, 3. Am I making sense? Do you agree or disagree? Okay. Then for CF, again, you can see 1, 2, and then half a box. Correct or not? Can you see it? Or in fact, what you want to do is you can move up first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 also. Agree or not? Do you agree or disagree? Right? And then we go 1, 2, 3, half a box. Isn't it identical?
Yeah.
And the moment that is the case, your answer is, or the lines are parallel. And that's the reason why your answer for this question has to be option number. Now the next question, right, talks about Eve standing within the grid, okay? She stands at a location northwest of X. What is northwest of X? That means I need to go to X. I need to find exactly where's my northwest. Am I making sense? Where's my northwest? Naughty elephant spray water. Correct or not? Northwest has to be somewhere here. Agree or disagree? Can you see it? All right. North of Y. So that means to say I go to my Y. We know north of Y is somewhere here. Am I making sense? So northeast of this, so should be somewhere here, right? Agree or disagree? In which direction is Z from Eve? From Eve, you know. So where is Z from Eve? So if Eve is over here, if Eve is over here, then your Z definitely has to be in southwest. Am I making sense? Why southwest? Because you see, Z is on this side, right? Right? So this is south, right? Not the elephant, spray water, right? So isn't this southwest? Right? Z is somewhere here. Correct or not? I didn't want to do it inside because, I'm afraid that will confuse you. Can you understand? All right, that is the reason why your answer for this question has to be option number 2. Now, for this question here, they have no values or no measurements at all, right? Okay, the only thing you have really is that ABCD is a square. That's all they have given you, correct? So they told you ABCD is a square. What else? BGD and AGC are straight lines. That's it, right? And then they told you BF equals to FC equals to CE. This is a very important information. This is under this concept called area and perimeter. Okay? Anything you don't know, you use 1 unit to represent, can? So if BF equals to FC, that means to say this is 1 unit. Agree or disagree? This has to be 1 unit too, correct or not? And then EC has to be 1 unit, correct? Right? So then this entire thing here has to be how many units? 2 units. Agree or disagree? Right? And then that means to say DE must be 1 unit, right? Yeah, then this has to be 2 units also. True? Okay. Now I know the confusing part comes when they ask for what fraction of the figure is shaded, right? So once again, is over off. Can you all just write this down? Is over off first? What are they trying to say? Is shaded off the figure. Can you see that? Is shaded off the figure. What do I mean? It means that shaded needs to be in the denominator or numerator.
Numerator.
And then figure has to be in the denominator or numerator.
Yeah.
Make sense? Okay, let's find what is shaded first. You can see shaded is in this arrow looking shape, correct? But actually you can break this arrow looking shape, okay, by just drawing or by just extending this line all the way upwards. And you will get 2 triangles. Am I making sense? And in fact, it is not just 2 triangles. It is 2 similar triangles. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
I say that again, it is 2 similar triangles.
Yeah.
So let's talk about just A triangle. Just talk about triangle A first. Or you want to call it AGF. You see, to find the area of a triangle, we always have to do half times base times height. Am I making sense? This is triangle what? AGF. Agree or disagree? What is my base? My base is 1 unit. Agree or disagree? What is my height? My height is, you see that this is a slanted triangle, right? Are you able to see that this is a slanted triangle? If this is a slanted triangle, what should I do?
Um,
Can you see this slanted triangle? I purposely highlighted. Can you see that? That means I need to remember, I need to extend my height. My height has to be here. True or not? Right? If my height is there, what happens? What happens? If my height is there, that means to say I'm going to use 1 unit also as my height. Agree or disagree? Do you understand or don't understand? Okay, so then when you do 1 unit times 1 unit, you get to 1 unit, right? Then after that, you half it. That becomes 0.5 units. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
And this is triangle A. Agree so far? So now that I have AGF, I also know that triangle AGE, since it is the same triangle, isn't it true that it is also 0.5 units? Make sense? Correct. So then my shaded triangle is basically how much already? 1 unit. Correct or not? Okay. But then what is my figure?
times 2.
Very good. That is the area of the square. Am I making sense? All right. And we know that it's 2 units times 2 units. That gives you how many units? 4 units. Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? Okay. In fact, it's just all square. Can? But don't worry about that because we are just asking for the fraction. Am I making sense? So basically, it's just 1 unit over 4 unit. I will basically get to 1 over 4. 1 unit square over 4 unit square. Unit square and unit square can cancel each other. That's the reason why my answer for this question has to be 1 over 4. Almost, I would say 80% of the students will get this kind of questions wrong. You know why? Because you'll never focus on units. You will never write units. You will just divide and that's about it. Let me explain to you. First sentence, okay? Ari has how many liters of apple juice?
5.
That is the total. This is not 5 cups, huh? This is 5 liters, huh? He poured all the juice into cups. All right? The capacity of each cup is what? 7 over 10 liters, huh? So we know that 1 cup can hold 7 over 10 liters. Agree so far?
Yeah.
So a lot of you will be like, oh, easy. So I'm going to go and find how many cups, right? I just have to do 5 liters divided by 7 over 10 liters. Correct or not? But you all fail to realize that the answer that you get must be in cups. Am I making sense? So I will get to 7, 1 over 7 cups. Why is that so? Because when I divide, what happens to my liters? I cancel each other. Am I making sense? So I need 7 1 over 7 cups in order for me to pour all of the juice. How can I round down to 7? Yeah, why? Because if I round down to 7, that means the 1 over 7 cup of juice, what happens to that? What? I still, right? I still want to have that, right? I mean, I still have to put that somewhere, right? So you have to round up. So that's the reason why we say 7 plus 1, that gives me 8 cups. And therefore, the least number of cups he needs to use for all of his juice has to be 8 cups. Now, learning how to draw something like this is very important, okay? You see this? This is a parallelogram. Which is a parallelogram? A, B, C, D. Same thing. It is like the question that we did just now in the MCQ. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
The one.
No, not the one without the number. The one that I had to draw.
Oh.
The one that I had to draw, right? What do I have to use? This one, remember?
Yeah.
Right? What do I have to use to find the parallel lines? I had to use the boxes. Very good. So in this situation, it's also the same thing. I have to use the, what do I have to use? The dots, the boxes, the gaps. Am I making sense? So let's do the first one, right? They say by drawing dots on the grid, draw square ADEF, and ADEF must not overlap parallelogram ABCD. What did they say? ADEF. You have to use a pencil first. So before I even go on, right, I want to sketch it outside. What do I mean? I'm just going to sketch. Can you see this is ADEF? Sketching means I don't use a ruler. All right, I just briefly write out first. Because why do I? Teacher, how do you know this is ADEF? Because they say square what? What is the square called? AD E. Can you follow the order? A to D to D to E, E to F. Am I making sense? So it should look something like that somewhere here. Am I making sense? But the thing about square is that the sides must all be the same. So the first thing first, obviously, to find what is the measurement for AD, right? But we don't know, right? So we can only use the dots 2, 3, 4. Can you see that? All right, and then over here 1, 2. Am I making sense here? Use the triangle to help you. Agree or disagree? So we are going to use the same thing. How are we gonna do it? How are we gonna do it?
Use the triangle.
Very good. Can we use the triangle? Let's go. Okay, so the same thing applies, huh? So how long do you think which one you want to do first? You want to do DE first because AD is already done, right? Do you want to find DE first or do you want to find AF first? Which one do you want to find?
DE.
Okay, DE first, huh? So let's ask ourselves, how long should DE be? You use your pencil, you just roughly estimate. Okay, you just roughly estimate first, huh? Just now, remember I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4 down, then 1, 2. Okay? All right, ready? Ready? Now, let's go down. Let's see whether if this works. 1, 2. Can you see that? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see whether if it's this. Do you think this is how it should look like for DE? This is to E.
I think should.
I think so. Okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. I think so. Yeah.
Right? Do you agree or disagree? Okay? Right? Why? Because you go 1, 2, right? Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I making sense? Isn't it the same as this one over here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Then 1, 2. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Am I making sense? So you must always use that to help you. Okay, if not, you won't be able to draw something that is accurate. 1, 2. Then you go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can I draw the clouds or?
Yeah, you can draw the clouds, but you have to erase that later. Is that okay? Okay. So this is E over here. Agree or disagree? Okay, I'll remove away the clouds, erase the clouds with your Understand?
Yeah.
Now what you want to do is, of course, find out. Okay, you can use, you can just estimate first, and then later words you go and just change it accordingly. You can, and if you don't use a pencil,
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to change it accordingly. Okay. All right. Now, then, of course, now what we want to do is we want to draw upwards. Correct or not? So I'm done with DE, right? So make sure you show that this is E. Yeah. Now I'm going to draw to E to F. Am I making sense? How do I draw the E to F? How do I draw E to F?
You draw the same number of dots, but upwards.
Should be here. Can you see it? Can you see this? All right. So this is F. Okay. Why is that so? Because 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I making sense? Then you connect the dots. You connect the dots. Okay, this is the square that you're going to get to. Am I making sense? Okay, just to prove to you that everything is the same. You see, 1, 2. Can you see that? Right. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I making sense? Can you see it? Yeah. So basically, that's how you would draw a square. Am I making sense? And remember, it should not overlap. True?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and that's how you would draw a square like this. Now, so the next part wants us to draw a trapezium, right? And first thing first, you have to understand what is a trapezium. CD, where's CD? CD is over here, right? Correct or not? All right, CDGH. So it should look something like this. Can you see that? A trapezium tells us, a trapezium looks like a shoe. All right? C to here, D to here, correct? All right, where is my G? G has to be here. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Agree or disagree? H has to be here. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
All right, so there's CDGH. Am I making sense? Such that CD is twice as long as GH.
But over here
So-
it says like that. So do you do C, D, G?
No, so it will go down and then like that.
Okay.
Correct? Okay, so it is what is twice as long? What is twice as long? CD is twice as long. That means my GH has to be shorter.
Yeah.
All right, CD is twice as long, right? That means my GH has to be shorter. So it should look something like this. Can you see that?
Yeah. Also, it's
So what should I do first? I should sketch first. If I don't sketch, there's no way I can do it. Make sense? Okay. And like what you have said, 3 dots is absolutely correct for what my HG. Am I making sense? Okay, so from okay, so in fact their CD is this side, CDGH. Let me just change the signs. Can you see that? Sketch it out first. Okay, the way you sketch it and the way I sketch it is a little different. You can see?
Yeah.
All right, why? Because you see, I showed that CDGH, right? You have to also put in the. Imagine you are drawing this again.
Like that. You have to do it other way.
No, you can pull it down, right? From D, you can bring it down, right?
Yeah.
True or not? Okay, now, more importantly, they say that GH is parallel to CD. So they're parallel. Make sense? And DG is equals to GH. That means to say, it will also be how many dots?
3 dots.
Yeah, right? So if this part, you see, this part, don't say 3 dots, in fact. Say how many gaps? C to G, how many gaps? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 gaps. Agree so far? So that means to say this is how many gaps? 2 gaps. Agree or disagree? That means to say this is how many gaps? 2 gaps. Agree or disagree? Can you see it? Can you understand or don't understand? Okay, so we have all of these things, 2 gaps over here. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we want to do now, of course, we want to draw it downwards. If it's 2 gaps, we're going to go 1, 2, and that's about it. Can you understand? All right, we'll draw it downwards to here. Make sense? Okay. The sketching should help you a lot. I hope the sketching helped you to at least visualize it before you even start. You get what I'm trying to say? Then this is the masterpiece. The masterpiece you submit to the teacher. Can?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are done with this side, right? We are done with this side, right? We are done with this side, right? Correct or not? We are done with two sides, huh? I'm left with two sides, right? I need my GH, right? How do I find my GH? I put G over here first, right? Can? Okay, so how many gaps do I need for my GH?
You need two gaps.
Two gaps, huh? So I just basically go this way. Am I making sense here? Am I making sense here? Okay, you can start sketching on your masterpiece on the grid. You can start sketching on the grid. Okay. Now, do you understand why is it? Do you understand why is it down? You see? Okay, you draw this first. You can draw this first. I'll make sure. Okay. So once I'm done with this, what I want to do now, okay, what I want to do now is I want to connect the dots, right? Can you see I'm gonna connect the dots? Right here. Make sense? All right, so this is H. Now then let's go back to the question. Let's read to see whether if the question is correct. GH is parallel to CD. Is that correct?
Yeah.
CD is twice as long as GH. Is that correct?
Yeah.
DG equals to GH. Is that correct? Both is three dots, right? Or two gaps, right?
Yeah.
Trapezium must not overlap the parallelogram. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And therefore, this is correct, and this is your answer for B. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Now, I know in the second part it gets a little confusing, but let's see here. Now, you don't have measurements. What do?
Make your own units.
Make your own units. Very good. They say the ratio of the area of parallelogram ABCD. Where is ABCD? Right? Now, I know a lot of you will be like, what is my formula for parallelogram? Don't worry, you can just split the parallelogram into a triangle. Can you see my triangle or not?
Yeah.
I use black color, can you see my triangle or not? Right, so let's find the area of the parallelogram first. So the area of the parallelogram. Understand? All right, parallelogram ABCD. Am I making sense or not making sense? Okay, what is the area of parallelogram? The area of the parallelogram, we use two triangle. Am I making sense? And so see, the problem is that you went to draw this. Can you do this or not? Can you submit your masterpiece to your teacher like that? No,
But
because
can
you're
you draw and then erase it?
yeah, you can erase, but will you remember? Or are you gonna forget? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay, let's ask ourselves what is the area? Half times base times height, right? What is the base? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
What is the height? 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the base, right? 4.
Yeah.
Am I making sense? Okay, so we are going to say the base is 6 units. The height is 4 units. Now we will get to an answer of 12 units. That is the area of the parallelogram. Am I making sense? Okay. Now, once I have that, okay, since I already know one of it, I can say that, okay, the second one is also 1, 2, oh, in fact, no, this is not the height. The base is the same, the height, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's also 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Yeah, correct. So that means to say it's 12 units times 2. Agree so far? That gives you 24 units. Okay, so that is done for the first one. Now, area of the square ADEF. Where is the area of the square? You can see area of the square or not? Can you see area of the square? Okay.
Then you count the number of gaps, and then over here it's 3.
Do you want to split the square into like a triangle, or do you think what do you want to do? Or do you just want to calculate
Okay,
a
because-
square?
Yeah, because I think you can just like go to the ends that 1, 2, 3. So now that you know there's 3, you can just do 3 into 3.
Okay, wait, before you go on, right, I just want to say one thing, okay? Sometimes you may not be able to find, so I will use what is outside the bigger rectangle to go and minus it. It will be way better. It will be way better if you were to do that. Can you see the bigger rectangle? So you minus away how many triangle? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You get what I'm trying to say? So it's more accurate like that. Am I making sense? Okay. So you will basically do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Okay. Can you see that? All right. Can you see the outside is 6 units? So for the area of the square, okay, area of square ADEF. Okay. When you talk about square ADEF, okay, you are referring to the one inside, can? Okay. Now we will have to find the outside square first. Correct or not? Can you see the outside square? How big is the outside square?
7.
7 or 6?
7.
7 or 6?
7.
One,
about the gaps.
two. I always do with the gaps, right? Who cares about the dots? Right? So over here, the area of the big square. Am I making sense? Area of the big square will then be, what is it going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's basically 6 units times 6 units. That gives you how much? 36 units. Am I making sense here?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the area of the big square. Then of course we want to X away. We want to remove away the right angle triangle. Okay, the right angle triangle you can go with 1, 2, 3. Am I making sense? 4. Make sense?
5, 6.
1, 2. Make sense? So 4 times 2, that gives you, yeah, that is the area of triangle. Make sense? Okay, so the area of triangle will be half times the base. What is the base? The base is 2 units. What is the height? The height is how many units? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 units, right? Yeah, correct. All right. So over here, 4, 8. So this becomes 4 units. Correct now? So you can basically say 36 minus 4, 4, 4, 4. Agree so far?
So could you have also done like you can't there are 2 gaps.
Yeah.
And then you could have just done 2 times 2 to get the area of the square.
The one inside or the one outside?
Outside. So
Yeah.
1. Like, could you have also done that?
But this is not 2 gaps, right? This is not 2 gaps. You get what I'm trying to say? This is more than 2 gaps. When we say one gap means one dot to another dot, right? But this is not 2 gaps. You can see that it's jumping.
Yeah.
True. So you cannot say 2 times 2. If you do 2 times 2, you are definitely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to be wrong, then yeah, you go down the path. It's going to lead you to nowhere. You get what I'm trying to say? I know this is more tedious. Yeah. Okay. So can you see that the area of we know that the area of the rectangle is 4 units each. Agree or disagree? What do you want to do? You want to use the entire thing, which is 36 units, right?
Yeah.
Minus away what? No. Minus away how many units? 4, 8, 12, 16. 16 units.
Oh.
That gives you 20 units. Am I making sense or not making sense?
20 units.
The one inside is 20 units. Make sense or don't make sense? You sure you understood?
Wait, but for the square, I did like 4 triangles because since we found out that 1 triangle was 8, then after that I did the 4 triangles, so I multiplied it by 4, and then after that I got 32.
Yeah.
So then
well, but the triangle is not 8 units.
Yeah, yeah.
The triangle is 4 units. So 4 times 4 is 16, not 32. Can?
Yeah.
Okay, then of course, last but not least, we have the trapezium that we need to find. Now, then of course, we want to move on to the next one, which is the area of the the trapezium. Now, it's very difficult for you to find area of trapezium, right? So we want to split it up into, can you see 2 triangles? All right, so let's call triangle A and then we have triangle B. Is that okay? All right, so area of triangle A, let's talk about triangle A first. To find area of triangle A, we just have to do half times 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2. This gives me 4 times 2 is 8, so that becomes 4 units. Agree so far? Area of triangle B, right angle triangle B basically becomes half times, what is it? 4. What is it again for the height? 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives you 8 units. Correct? Correct? All right. Your total is 12 units. Am I making sense? Okay. So with that, we know the ratio already. First one I'm going to use is 24 unit. The second one I'm going to use is 20 unit. And then the last one that I'm going to use is 12 units. Okay, I purposely circle them so that it will be clearer for me. Okay, so it should be 24 is to 20 is to 12. Simplify all, 12 is to 10 is to 6. Further simplify, 6 is to 5 is to 3, and therefore this is your answer for this question. Now, when we talk about painted faces, this is under volume called painted faces. Okay, this is under volume called painted faces. Now, of course, the first one, in fact, there's another concept called cutouts. Okay, these are all under volume. We call this Dr. V's Cures people. We use this acronym to help us to remember. The first D stands for drawing and sketching, followed by rate of liquid, followed by volume of cubes and cuboid, followed by internal transfer, same water level, same height, cutout, painted faces. Okay, I'm going to explain this, okay, because a lot of students don't know how to do questions like that, okay? This person had a rectangular box, and these are the measurements. These are what we call our base area. Am I making sense? And he decided to paint all the faces of the block. That means to say she did not cut them. Okay. She only painted it. But she painted first. Which one comes first? The painting first. After painting, then she went to cut. That means to say something inside is not painted.
Okay.
Then she cut the block into. Okay, this is something that you probably have learned. Okay, you must always ask yourself, or in fact, you have to do it individually. This is called the length, right? This is called the breadth. This is called the height. Let's talk about our length. How many 2 cm cubes are there on the length? 32 divided by, that gives you 16 what? You see, a lot of you will just put 32 divided by 2. But I actually want you all to do this. 32 cm divided by 2 cm. That means your answer cannot be 16 cm, right? Has to be 16 what? For breadth, I'm going to do 12. In fact, not 12 only. Must be 12 cm divided by 2 cm. Am I making sense? I'll get to 6. 6 cubes or 6 cm. For the height, I will do basically 24 divided by 2. That gives you 12. 12 what? Cubes. Am I making sense? Okay. Now, of course, is this all that she has cut from the block? No, because she has cut more than that, right? This 16 cm is basically, 16 cubes is basically over here only. Yeah. Am I making sense? Okay, where is this 6 cubes? The 6 cubes are basically over here. Am I making sense? Where's the 12? The 12 is basically over here. Am I making sense? But I want the everything. Correct or not? That means to say I'm basically asking you for the volume. Right? So what is the total number of cubes that I can cut?
The volume divided by 2.
No. What is the total number of cubes that I can cut? If on the length I have 16, on the breadth I have 6, and on the height I have 12, I just have to do 16 times 6 times 12. That's the reason why I will have 1,152 cubes cut out. Now, can you understand why? Let me explain again, okay? Why am I multiplying?
Oh, yeah, so then you can get like
the total, right? Everything. Korean. If I just want the area, I will just have to do length times the breadth. But what do I want? This is a 3D shape, you know? Yeah. It's a 3D shape, So you have to use the volume, right? Right? The formula, right? L times B times H. Am I making sense here? Yeah. Am I making sense here? Alright, then I have to use L, B, and H, right? If not, how am I supposed to find it? Am I making sense? Okay, let me explain to you in the second part. This is where the painted faces comes in, and a lot of students, they just like, oh my goodness, how to do? Easy. I'll explain to you why. Now, don't get nervous when you see these kind of questions, because this is a PF question. What is a PF? Just now I talked about painted faces. The first one is a cutout. Cutout, you always do it this way. A lot of students, in fact, when I first started teaching you, I remember you did volume of the figure divided by the volume of the 2 cm cube. So a lot of you went to do this 2 times 2 times 2 first. Then you do 32 times 12 times 24, right? Then your answer over here and your answer over here, what do? You divide each other. No. Never learn from your mistake. It's okay to make mistakes, but you must learn. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Don't learn from it. I purposely write it out so that you can see what you have done wrongly. Yeah? You know what I'm talking about.
How do you still remember?
I remember everything. Now, so the question says, right, how many of these 2 cm cubes had none? No faces painted. I ask you a question. What does it mean to say none of the faces painted? That means I paint first, then I cut, right? That means something is not painted, right? What is not painted? The ones that are inside. But how to find? Oh my goodness, sounds so. You want me to think about it? No, I'm not asking you to do that. Let's go one by one first, Ken. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna draw. Okay, can you see what is this? This is the front face. I'm just gonna draw the front face for you. Okay, you tell me. Okay, I need you all to understand this. Okay, none of the faces painted. Okay. Can you imagine if I have many over here? Okay, I don't know if you can see, but what I'm trying to show you now is this. The corner will definitely have 3 faces painted.
Yeah.
Now, I know you won't understand. You are like, okay, hold on to that first. I'm going to make a cube up from my cubes. I have those cubes, right? Do you know that all of these in between the corner, they are all 2 faces painted? I told my students this: corner, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. For any shape, all of the corner, right, is always 3 faces painted. Okay, so I'm gonna use something that you can visualize, because if you cannot see it, you don't believe it. You don't believe it, no matter what I say, you won't understand. You're like, whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna show you. I use cubes, okay? Like literally I use cubes. Okay? I'm gonna make this into a cuboid. Okay, we make this into a cuboid together, okay?
The exact measurement.
Okay, of course not the exact measurement. In this situation, it's too long already. Correct now? Okay, I need you to help me to record this, so every one of them they can see it. Okay, everyone can see it. Wait, give me a while, Okay, now for you first, Now. Okay, so those of you who are watching this, hear me out. Let me just you look there. Okay. Okay, hi everyone. I'm the man behind the video. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use cubes like that to show to you all. Okay. I'm currently building. Okay, I'm currently building. Let me just stop sharing. Okay, I'm currently building a cube. Okay, in fact, in this situation, this question is not a cube. This is a cuboid, correct? Correct. So I'm just going to build a cuboid for you all to see first. Okay, right now I'm just going to build a cuboid. Okay, I'm going to build a cuboid using all of the same colors. Okay, all of the same colors. Okay, let me just quickly build that. Okay, if you have cubes like that, you'll be great if you can take it out and then build together or build alongside me. Okay, that will be really amazing, so that at least you all can visualize, because I understand it's not easy to see. Not many people, even some adults, they can't see it. Okay, so this is my base. Can you see that? Now, I'm just going to continue building. So as you can see over here, I am not able to build 16 cubes because I don't even have enough. Okay, for each color, I only have 10. Okay, this is something that you can buy from Shopee. You can use my referral code. I'm just kidding. There's no referral code. But give me a while. Okay, oops. Okay. Now, you can see it is coming up soon. It's coming up really soon. Okay, really quickly. Okay, can you all see it? Can see? Okay. I don't have, because I don't have enough colors, I'm going to continue using pink color, okay? All right, the pink color ones will basically be the same. Is that okay? All right. Okay. Can you see? Now, imagine this is the front face. Okay? Or you know what? I make it into something smaller so that you can at least see that it is a cube, cuboid in this situation. Okay, so if it's a cuboid, okay, I'm just going to build this up first. You want to help me with it? You help me build a cuboid first. Just combine all of this. Okay, make a cuboid first. Okay, my cuboid is finally up. If I'm going to paint this cube, okay, I'm going to paint this, sorry, cuboid, I keep saying cube. How many of the faces will have 3 faces painted? It will be the ones in the corner. Correct or not? The ones in the corner. Can you see all of the ones that are white in color? Why is that so? Because 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Can you see 3 faces painted? Then the other one is also the same thing, right? Let me just point it. 1, 2, and 3. Agree so far? One more time. 1, 2, and 3. Agree or disagree? So 3 faces are painted. And for this itself is also 1, 2, and 3. Make sense? So the ones in the corner will always have 3 faces painted. What about the ones here and here? It will always be 2 faces. Why 2? 1, 2. 1, 2. Am I making sense? The ones over here will have how many faces painted? 1, 1. This one?
1,
Make sense? The ones over here?
1, 2. Oh yeah.
Make sense? Yeah. So your job now is to have none of the faces painted. That means whatever that's inside. Am I making sense? Whatever that's hidden. Am I making sense? Okay, so now your job is to go and find out how many does not have any faces painted. In this situation, we call them none of the faces painted. Am I making sense? If it's 2 faces painted, we will do this way. If it's 3 faces painted, we will do this way. If it's 0 faces painted, we will do this way. If it's 1 faces painted, we will do this way. Am I making sense? Okay. So right now we are going to find out how many of the faces will have 0 faces painted. Okay. So what we are going to do, very simple. Okay. We first have to ask ourselves, okay, we are going to go one by one, okay, one at a time. Is that okay? Okay. Now, can I start? So, to find none of the faces, I have to remove the 2 at the corner, right? Then for the breath, I will do the same thing as well, correct or not? For the breath, I will basically have to do what? Very good, very good. Am I making sense? 6 minus 2, that gives me how many cubes? 4 cubes. Agree or disagree? And finally, we go for the height. Okay, and for the height, we again have to remove the corner. 12 minus 2, that gives me how many cubes? 10 cubes. Agree or disagree? So are we done? No, right? Because there are many layers, right? So we have to do 14 times 4 times 10, and therefore your answer for this question has to be 560 cubes.
That was a lot easier than I.
Yeah, had none of the faces painted. Okay, so that's how you would do a question like this. Hi everyone, if you like this video, you can click right here for a similar video, or you can view our playlist here.